Hey guys, I am Nishant and welcome to Cybernetico. So in this video, we will learn about dynamic inputs and how to handle them. So for example, let's say we have three fields here: name, age, years of experience. These three are simple, but let's say we had like 10 or 11 inputs. In that case, if we want to get data, how to do that? We have to create, let's say we had 10 inputs. Then we had to create 10 different states for 10 inputs, for one for each input. For example, for name we have one state, for age we have one state, for this we have one state, and so on. But here I will show how to do it using only one state and one function. That's very simple. First of all, we will create a function called get input, or let me make it get input value like this, like this, like this. Fine. Now let's add the name properties here. That's very important. So this input of name will be have a name of name. This input we have this input of age will have the name of age, and this one as years of experience. We can say YOE like this. So it's done. All the three have names. Now let me assign the get input values function using on change event on these inputs like this. Or if you want, you can also do directly call the whole function like this on change. Now this in this on change event, let's say we type something in the here like Nishant. This will send some data to the function here. We can mark it as event, or let's mark it as data for your convenience and for mine. Fine. If we console.log this data, we will get all the information about the first form field if we type in the name. So let me show you. Bring this down. Console. Let me add my name called Nishant. So we will have all these things here. Bubbles, cancelable, blah 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 blah. Fine. It's done, but we need two things here. So we need this data dot target dot value. So we need only the value first. I will show more later, but soon. We have the name Nishant because we're typing Nishant here. If we type age, we will see the age from the second field. Years of experience, let's say 2, it will show up here, here. Fine. But as I did here, we also need the name. To get the value name or input name, we can just make in target name. Now if you type the name in the first field, we will not get the value, we will get the name, this name. If we type age, we will get this age, just like that. So we have the name and the value. We also have the ID, I think. So let's try ID. Refresh the page. So let's say we add the name of Nishant. It's empty. So I think ID and name works the same. So let's say if we add the ID of name. Let's see now what we get. So let's add the name Nishant and the ID is name here. So this ID and name props works the same. So we will use name here. Fine. Then what can we do? Okay, so we are getting the data, but let's destructure this data, and we have to extract the name and value from this data. So we will do this. We will create two variables. This is called structure in JavaScript. We will create the name and value from this data like this, and it's done. Now if we console the name, we will get the name. Refresh. Add the name Nishant. Okay, we are getting undefined. Okay, data dot target we need to do here. Yes, because data is not sufficient. Now I will get the name here. So add the name Nishant, and we are getting the name here successfully. Let me try value. Let me try value Nishant, and the name is here Nishant. We have to structure them properly. Now what we will have to do is we have to create a variable called let's say input. We have to mark these two inputs as key value pairs like this. Open curly brackets. Then in this array we'll have the name as the key and the value as the value. So this is the key and value. Just like in an object we have key value pairs. We have this here. If we CLG or console log this input, let's see what we get. So add the name Nishant. We are adding the name as key value pairs here. If we add the age, we will get the age like this. Fine. Now let's create a state, just like we discussed. One single state, not three states, for three different fields. So we will have to import the use state hook first. Use state hook like this. Let me create a state here. Let's say const data. Okay. Let's say inputs and set inputs equals to use state. Let me make this as and what can we make this as an object like this, or do we need an object or do we need an array? What we have to do here is we have to set it inside. Let's do with object, it will work. Then we will set this set input, then we will set this input in this input state like this, but we will have to use like this. This input is a object and we will merge it with the previous object. So we'll merge the inputs with the input state like this. Now we have a dynamic field here, dynamic input fields, and we don't need to create 10 states because we have done it with only one. So if we console.log the input state, so initially it's empty because our three fields are now empty. So let me add the age, let me add the name, then the age, then the years of experience. And now we are getting all of them in one single state. So we can show them using this input state. Let's say you want to send data to an API, we can simply send this input. We don't have to send name as name, age as age, and years of experience as years of experience. So that's how it works. Dynamic inputs in React.